If you sell on Amazon and try to compete by the product price and features, you might be missing out. What you really need to look at is consumers' behavior. The problem is that there is not enough data about it, and many sellers are navigating blind, relying on traditional research that barely scratches the surface. In this video, you will learn about a tool called IntelliView, which helps exactly with that, to track consumers' behavior. And if you want to try this tool, you will find the link below in the description.
Hello, Peter Paul. I'm really excited to have you here on Orange Click channel today to talk about the issue of Amazon sellers lacking good customer insights. And you will explain how your solution of IntelliView will actually help sellers to overcome that challenge. But before we go to the details exactly, could you first introduce yourself and give me maybe a little brief overview of what IntelliView is and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you, Lisette, for this call, for this opportunity. And well, hello to everyone who's looking at this video. Normally, I have like the conversation with the person, so now it's not. It's like one too many. I hope it comes over the table correctly and that it's all understandable. But my name is Peter Paul, and I'm with the company since the start. We started in 2014 as an Amazon seller, and well, we used like a lot of tools to really get the listings up and going. We had like several brands, still have, and we soon found out like we have to build something of our own. So we started with that, and then in 2016, let's see, no, that's later. So 2018, a mastermind is formed around it. We grew like bigger and bigger, and with the consumers that we have around us, like a member base, well, it was so much more people to it that we felt like it's ready to go to the open public, and that's what we did in 2022. And yeah, so here we are, IntelliView.
So we're happy to have you because usually all solutions and softwares that come from, which are built by sellers who have felt the personal pain, are very awesome and very useful for the sellers. And I think you are tapping into something that's not so widely covered yet, which is kind of gathering the most important customer insights before even starting selling the product. So we're very eager to hear what you're going to cover today. You will also show how the tool works or how the solution works and how sellers can use it. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump straight into it and learn from you.
Yeah, so and indeed, it's true. So we are an Amazon seller, and you see it correctly. It differentiates us. So we can really have, I speak a lot of agencies, sellers, and we really do a deep dive with them into the listings to do, well, whatever is needed to get the attention of the consumer. But with further ado, I will show what it's all about. So yeah, I think it's good to first get a better understanding of a problem that we're facing as an Amazon seller or agency or aggregator. And the thing is that, like, so recently I was in London and I spoke about this question that you're seeing here right now. So I just asked a bunch of sellers like, hey, how well do you really know your consumers? And do you know what really drives the buying decision? Do you know that? So do you know why your product stands out from your competition, or even maybe your product is worse than the competition, but do you know that? And are you confident that it aligns with consumer needs? And how effective are the current tools that you're using to listen to the voice of the customer? Some of them mentioned like, well, yeah, I know that. And then when I ask them, so now this is the moment where I speak to one too many, because I cannot ask this question. But when you see this, and when I ask this, think of for yourself, like, hey, do I know my customer? Do I know them? And so if you do, then how do you know them? And mostly people are getting insights coming from the marketplace, so coming from Amazon, and it's coming from ratings. So it's the end of the journey. It's kind of like reading stuff, but it's not the complete story. You will never know when the consumer enters the marketplace what they're looking for and what at that moment what they are thinking, right? They don't know that. So, and we can offer a solution for that, because what we are focusing on is getting more insights. So with IntelliView, you're gonna dive into the mind of the consumer to understand their needs, wants, and desires. And you're gonna understand their buying decision. So in other words, you give the consumer exactly what they need to purchase your product with confidence. And as said, if you look at post-sale, well, if you look at a post-sale analysis, here you see on the left, ratings are reflecting choices, but they are not reflecting needs. And if you do analysis on your listing or other listings, it shows what's present, but it's not showing what's preferred. And if you do an A/B test, for instance, experiments within Amazon, sure, you can say like, yeah, we have a home run. So now all of a sudden you are doing better, but you don't know why. You have absolutely no idea what the reason is behind the winning element. And same applies for feedback. If you, whatever, in a product, you add something like respond to us, fill in the survey, it will give you some feedback around the product or packaging or whatever, but not like, well, I was really looking for this or that, but I found your product and, well, this is like the best solution. But to be honest, I was looking for something else. You don't know that. So with what we do with pre-sale testing is looking into, for instance, pre-purchase barriers. By the way, I'm Dutch. So just for other who hears this, I do my best speaking English. I just want to say that so that you know. But purchase barriers, it identifies obstacles before they affect sales. So you learn like what's going on here. What might be things that people are thinking about to say, I would not buy this product. I would not buy yours, or even in this category, I won't. And same is for preferred options. You can discover what customers truly want, not just what they end up buying. And choice reasons, you can delve into motivations behind preferences. And the last thing is like your preference validation that confirms your product market fit. So you have a very much more understanding of how does your product fit into the market and what's really needed to get the sale done, if that makes sense so far. So if you look at the different poll types, and we're going to dive into it after this slide, we have several poll types, and I try to give like an overview, like where can you start and where does it end. You see pre-test baseline. So what it means is like if you start from bottom up, you can do like a real deep dive. You can do a baseline test. That's how we call that. So you do some polls, 3 polls in total, and then you start from there. The second step, that is kind of like the moment where you're going to test hypothesis. So you from the first polls, you will see objections, problems, things that people are mentioning, and you can say like, okay, let's bring this to the table and test it in other poll types. And from there, you will move forward to an implementation test. But you might also want to step in the middle, like if you already have done so many research and you want to just test some hypothesis that you have, you can do that. That's also an option. So there are several ways to use our platform. We have a lot of SOPs in place, training, etc., to help you out. But let's dive into the platform by first mentioning the purchase barrier poll. I said that before. So this is a poll that attacks the blind spots. It's used to help Amazon shoppers like get a better understanding, like, hey, what is a dominant reason that avoids buying? And we call that DRAB. So that's in short, DRAB, the dominant reason that avoid buying. And it focuses on your product or your product category, your type of product, and you will find and detect reasons people say no. So we're going to first look into uncover purchase barriers. And I'm going to show you a sample report. And the sample report, it always starts with a situation. This is something you have to craft yourself. You can do this with the help of AI. And in this case, you need to carry around a lot of cards and cash, but you don't want a regular bulky wallet. You come across Minimalist Wallet, which offers the perfect balance of security and convenience. But now this is the point. So here, what the purchase barrier poll is doing is we want to learn about your objections. What would be your reasons not to buy a minimalistic wallet? And a fun fact, if you ask people at a birthday party, for instance, like how was your week? And it's all like positive communication, then it ends quite quickly. But if you ask them like, what was not so good last week? Then people start talking and they don't stop. It seems that in our nature, it's quite simple to be negative and to nag around. So based on that fact, this is what this poll is doing. It's helping you to get objections around a specific project where people are kind of saying like, hey, this would be for me not a reason not to buy it. Never. I won't do it. So, and if you can fix those problems, you can add that to your main image or to your listing, you're going to address issues that other sellers not doing. And that's exactly where you can beat your competition. So, and you see here, for instance, price, and I have to say that because now the price is not showing, right? So, but the thing is that people are saying like, hey, listen, price would be important for me. So I like this type of product, but it has to be good price, because otherwise, if I don't see the value of it, I will not do that. So you have to do some more testing. Here comes an hypothesis, for instance, what will happen with quality price point, and I should test it, blah, 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 blah. And you continue with that. Size, space, comfort, all things are passing by. And by the way, as you can see, this is generated by AI, and it comes from all the specific comments from people. So actual people, actual consumers are responding. So here you see in the age demographic, people are responding to that, and you can really deep dive into those comments. So let's go back to the presentation. The next poll that we're gonna address is the marketplace poll. And this is focusing on CDR. So this is like the main tile, the first start, what people will see. And you can use the marketplace poll, and you can find out what grabs attention and how you can beat your competitors. So let's go back to the platform. And now we're going to say, let's say, validate your product idea. By the way, this is a specific job to be done. So this is something you can choose from. I'm not now going to use this simply because I want to show you how this works. And previous time I showed you a sample report, going to do it again. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a marketplace poll and show you also how simple it is to do that. So here you see the marketplace poll validate product. As said, instruction is here. Instruction will always be there, and you can always show it or hide it. You give your poll a name, that's for internal purposes. And as mentioned before, you can generate a situation with AI. In this case, I'm going to work with a lemon juicer for this example. So here I'm going to generate with AI. This will take 15 seconds, and then I get 3 options to choose from for the situation. I have to click enter, of course. Otherwise it won't do. And here you have it. So I'm not going to deep dive in what the best option is. That's all up to you, and you can still edit it if you want. Then here the question. In the instruction, you will always see that we say, which one of these products would you buy and why? And the thing is, it's all about buyer intent. So it's not like polling which color do you prefer, or which one would you click, or do you like a thicker line or a smaller line? That's all not important. We are focusing on Amazon sales. So what we are focusing on is like, which one of these products would you buy and why? That's relevant. That's a good poll. That's what you should ask consumers and nothing else. Then here we can add products. It's an Amazon marketplace, and I'm taking a specific product here. So let's go for this one. I'm going to grab the ASIN, and then here, enter the ASIN. It will fetch the product. So it will take it in. And from here, you can start editing things. I'm going to leave it behind for now because this is all about micro testing. So you can do several tests on specific items within the tile. You see the complete tile here. You could do a lot of things. For now, it's just the purpose of this demo is to show you how easy it is to add products into this poll. So let's say I have another competitor, this one. Take the ASIN. Add a product, ASIN, enter. And this is what you should do, like at least 3 times, but best like 4 or 5 times. So your product up against 4 competitors. Then you go down and you can say, what do you want to test? So as said before, it's a baseline. So I mentioned that in my presentation in this slide. So this is like a baseline. But if you already know the info about the information or the impact of pricing, what you can do is that you say like, you know what, I'm going to hide the price. or I'm going to hide badges. So there are no, you see it's going away now. You can hide reviews. So now you can just focus on the main image and the title, and based on that, you can start your poll. You can select the audience, age, demographics, gender, positive, negative. This is always default. So this is one of our benefits, like really our unique selling point, that we offer as well positive as negative feedback. And here's the checkout. And then let's go to the example report of a marketplace poll. Here again, you see the situation. And I mentioned that before in the purchase barrier poll. But now I'm going to do a little bit more deep dive. But you should also see a number here, because this is one of the data points. So before people are even seeing a product, they vote for the situation, like how clear is that to them? Because we ask them, can you imagine yourself? So in the clarity score, you're going to see like, okay, is this a good result or not? If it's not, it might be a bad situation you use for the poll, but it might even be a very, very worse niche that you're choosing. It's just too difficult. So you can go back to the drawing board and think of something else. Then, before even seeing the product, we ask people, what are the most important product features you would look for when comparing products that are a solution for this situation? Fun fact is this, that people are not seeing the product. They do not see the solution yet. They have no idea like what will it be. So they can imagine it themselves. And then they come up with those things here. So you see it. It's all like, yeah, I think this, I think that. Wow, this will be important to me. Then we have the results. So here you see them side by side in percentage, positive, negative. You can all dive into that. So if I say poll insights here, and I want to see those 102 negative votes of product, the final product that's here, the bottom one, I can dive into the negatives on this specific product, and I can see of this specific person, consumer, he's saying like, C is my negative, then this is his positive. So this is the most negative, this is the most positive. It goes always from left to right or right to left, whatever you want, but it's going side by side. So you see like this specific person, let's say one consumer is saying like, okay, this is my negative, this is my positive. That's what it's about. You can generate with AI a report, a summary. You can say there, this is my product. And again, all the comments that are helpful to optimize your product or listing. And as mentioned before, post-sale analysis does not bring everything to the table. And this is a very good example, because here you have a coffee mug without a handle. And people are saying like overall, here, some respondents are also expressed a preference of cups with a handle. So they like to have a handle, while others don't. Well, if you are selling a cup without a handle, you will never learn that fact from ratings, because people will not say, well, I rather had a handle. That would be weird, right? But you will learn that by pre-sale testing, because then people will say, I see a handle, or I see one without a handle. One group is saying like, I like to have a handle. The other one says, no, I don't, because it has to fit in my cup holder. So we did a test after this one. That's one of our hypotheses. What will happen if we do a detachable handle? And this was like a whole new product idea. And I think that's amazing, because you will never get this insights from post-sale testing. Never. Yeah, or you have just like a gut feeling and you're that good at it. But I don't think that is possible. So let's go back to the presentation. So here we have the image stack poll. That's about CVR. You can compare your stack with competitor stack, and it looks like this. Back to the dashboard, improve your image stack, get insights to craft your perfect image stack. Again, I'm going to show you a sample report, because the thing is like each poll is like easy to set up. It's always with fetching based on ASIN. And by the way, what I haven't showed you yet is that if I go back to the previous marketplace poll, because what I want to show you, for instance, is what is very simple to do is that you can say, I want to change this main image, because this is for the purpose of testing. So you can test your current listing, but you can always also go to another image. And then here you have it. Image is changed, right? So let's continue to the image stack poll. here we have it. Again, situation clarity, the question, it's always buyer intent. And then here you see the image tags in total free side by side. And this is like so amazing because this really helps you understand like how is sale happening? What's behind the sales? How are people looking at image tags and the images? And then here you see like number 3 is getting 9 votes. Let's say this is your stack. Then you might consider like, let's take this one to the second spot. But if you look into the competitor stack, then all of a sudden this one is getting 15 votes. So what's going on here? Why is this one getting 15 votes? Why is mine just getting 9? And what's the difference between those images? What are other sellers doing different? And even the negatives, like you see like 36 votes negative, 35 votes negative, 29 votes negative. All comments from real people saying like, this is not what I like. This is not what I'm looking for. I would rather have to see this. I'd rather see it use this or that. And you can take away features instead of adding more features that all sellers are doing at the moment in Amazon and lowering the price, because that's like the rat race we're in. You can kind of beat that stupid system and start listening to consumers and start really understand like, what do people want? And if you know what they want and you have like the perfect stack, it also is a base or a fundament to make your video or to make your bullet points better or to even make your A+ content better. It helps you to do the sale, if that makes sense. And by the way, also here you have the AI summary and it gives you a full explanation, like based on the feedback, it will tell you like, what can you do? What are the uniques for each stack and how to proceed? So that's the image tag poll. And then if you look at all together, so I said it before, like we have like, we call it our scientific approach. So it's like gathering all those hypotheses, test it with an experiment, analyze the results. If it's true, you can think of implementing it. If it's not true, you have to go back and test another one and test another one, if that makes sense. And this way, it's so much different than just ordinary A/B testing, because it's A/B testing is mostly outside of the context. And what we offer is marketplace simulation. So the consumers are seeing your product up against competitors in an actual marketplace situation. And in that space, they respond to, this is what I prefer, this is what I like, before even doing the sale. So it's like getting into the mind and seeing the journey from the start. And then finally, what I want to say is that if you have, so let's go back to this spot, if you have specific ideas for your main image, what normally happens is, and we did the same in the past, so we have like 2 or 3 options that we want to test for our main image. Normally you do like a ranking. So you put them side by side, option A, option B, option C. And you're going to ask in a poll, like, hey, which one do you prefer? But again, it's out of context. So you need something to get it in context. And that's what we offer with the competitive comparison poll. It's a very fancy name. It's for fine-tuning your CDR. And what you do is you test 2 or 3 or more options of your own listing, of your own tile, same as you have seen in the marketplace poll, up against competitors. Although now it's like 2 options up against competitors in one poll. And that looks like this one. Again, I'm going to show it based on the sample report. So this is about getting insights and ideas around your main image. And here you see image variations. So now you have multiple variations, and you have, because you have hypotheses. So you think like maybe option A, option B, option C. And then here you see the competitive comparison poll. And the strength of it all is that you see your 3 options. So here you see 3 options. Let's say this is my listing. This is my product. I have 3 ideas for my main image. 1, 2, 3. This is kind of like a ranking, but now it goes down. It's my product up against competitors. Again, my product up against competitors. Again, my product up against competitors, all combined in one poll. So you get like tons of insights, and even like in the contextual layer, because people will see it compared to this, compared to that, and they will respond to that in an actual marketplace. In that setting, then feedback is like really relevant, if that makes sense. And if you want to do an A/B test, for sure, it's good. you can consider that, but consider it, for instance, for finalizing packaging, or for if you have like your hypothesis done and you know, like, okay, this implementation might work, I'm confident, then you can still do some minor testing on small things. That's fine. But in other situations, you can only go with marketplace simulation and testing your product up against competitors, the way we do it, and that's how we see it. So it's about understanding consumer awareness. And remember, like, I haven't addressed that, but it's something that you need to understand, solution aware. So Amazon is solution aware. And what I mean by that is people are coming to Amazon and they kind of know what they're looking for. So that's the solution they have in their mind. That's the search term where we are focusing on. Those search terms are delivering impressions. Those impressions are the overview of your product probably and competitors. And based on that, you're the one who should add impactful elements, and you're the one who should take out noisy elements. So to wrap it all up, if you're ready to change the game, you can join us and redefine your customer journey and start doing it differently and start beating your competition.
So I do have a few questions for you as well. I think it was a very interesting presentation, and it's very interesting to see how many different types of polls are actually available on the platform that give different type of information for sellers. You mentioned a couple of times that the way how the responders see the products is actually a bit different than we have maybe been used to using other tools that are simple, like A/B testing tools. So I wanted to ask, can you describe us a little bit more what this simulated marketplace means and how the responders are actually seeing the products?
Yeah, sure. So the thing is that we strongly believe that seeing it in the actual context, in the actual marketplace, makes a difference, and it's important to do it that way. 80% of people are buying on mobile, so that's also the way we present it. So then, for instance, if you go to an image tag, then images are the most dominant thing that will be started in their results. So that's what they see up front. The same applies for desktop. So the way it looks, that's exactly the way we present it to consumers. And they see the actual Amazon bar, they see the product side by side. So it's completely generated. It's not connected with Amazon. It's not that. So we fetch products from Amazon. That's what we do. That's what we offer with the tool to do the setup easy. But it will be presented as an actual marketplace. And it's very powerful to do it that way.
Okay, very good. Yeah, it seems very useful if the customers, or let's say the responders, are seeing it, let's say, in a real environment, because that's where they actually usually shop. And when we think about US and US people, then a lot of people are very used to shopping on Amazon. So actually, my next question is connected to the people you are sending those questions to and those polls to. So it's quite a large number of people. It was like 28 million. Am I right?
Indeed, 28 million. Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay, and they are all US based, right?
Yeah, they're all US based. Yeah, and we're gonna expand with UK and Germany. So that will happen soon. But for now, it's US based mainly, and it's US based completely. Not
okay,
mainly,
but well, soon it will be mainly. So I guess everybody's kind of looking forward for you to expand to other markets as well, because definitely it's useful for European-based sellers or people who sell on different marketplaces. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing everything you know, and you're clearly very passionate about the topic as well. So before we go, just very shortly, although the whole video was about talking your solution, once more, what's kind of the main reason why you think Amazon sellers should use your solution and sign up for it? And we do leave all of the necessary links to the video description as well if you want to check it out. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm in sales like over 25 years, and I just love sales. But I strongly believe, and we strongly believe, that, people buy from people. So if you sell a product, it has to come from the heart. And it has to be something like you have to listen to your consumers. And the thing is that if you really listen, then the sales starts kind of like happening. It's magic. Well, I see you responding right now. So that's kind of like the effect. But you do not see that in e-commerce. It's all like behind the screen, behind pixels. You don't see it, but you have to focus on that, because people are looking for, they want to see a fix for their problem. They want to see what product does really fit with my needs, wants, and desires. and to dive into that. And you know, even now we are like focusing that much on this, and a lot of Amazon sellers, agencies, etc., are seeing the strength of our tool. I hope we get more competition in this field, because it makes the market better, it makes the environment better, and it will end the winning effect of the copycat stuff, because that's not the future. That's not what Amazon is looking for. They want to have a good buyer experience, and with us and with Intellifi, you get that.
Okay, what a great way how to end this interview with you with a good thought. So thanks again for joining me. I wish all of the best to you, and happy testing to everyone who decide to move forward and use your tool to set up some polls as well. So see you soon.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
I hope you learned something new in this video, and if you want to try Intellivi for yourself, you will find below the link to this tool, so check this out. And if you have additional follow-up questions, use the comments section below this video player. And as always, if you enjoy the videos we create, don't forget to click like and subscribe to our channel. And now I would like to invite you to watch other video which we recorded with the Mels from Intellivi, where you will get additional tips on being successful on Amazon. Enjoy.